Okay, I guess we are live now. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to COE's Weekend Pro Bono webinar. And today we are spotlighting the work of Nilay, a dynamic professional, and who is an experienced data analyst, and who is also be it going to be a data engineer, and whose portfolio reflects not only just the technical expertise but also a deep commitment of all the projects and all the challenges which he faced and how he tackled the challenges and upskill himself. So, in today's session, Nilay will walk through a curated selection of his projects, where each one of his portfolio represents his challenge and how he tackled them, and what are the learnings which he had deduced from his projects and from his work experience. So let's dive through his projects and hear everything from Nilay's words. Over to you, Nilay.
Hi, thanks for the invitation. And I'd like to thank you, everyone, for joining this session. And I will cover today the portfolio projects of mine. Okay, how I created my projects and how I developed those projects and how important a project portfolio is. Okay, so how many of you think that project portfolio is very important? So I will start with this question. Yeah,
So from my point of stance, it is very important. It showcase the proof of work style sample. If someone is talking verbally, so the recruiter or anyone will not be believe. If someone will show the portfolio, then person will believe. So it is a proof
yeah,
of work.
exactly. So building your ATS resume and updating your Naukri profile and upskilling is equally important. But having a portfolio is more important because not more important, equally important because it will showcase that what you know. Okay. So, you can start developing your projects after learning skills like Power BI and SQL, and also you can learn from the guided project, and you can just copy paste that project as well. But today I will show a few things that will actually little bit deeper than a normal project portfolio. So let me share my screen. So I will not exaggerate more on this topic, but in a crisp way, I want to summarize this. Okay, so this is my project portfolio. Here you can see. So what I have done, you can see. One second. Okay, you can see. Uh, these are the full project, and what I mean by full project, because this is not just only Power BI project or just a SQL project or something. Okay, it's a combination first, and second thing is it is once again, yeah, it is the explaining the step by step approach in a crisp way, and when you are presenting your portfolio, it needs to be like you are solving a problem, right? Because because when you work in an organization, okay, there your skill will solve a business problem, right? So if you can showcase that business problem, and if you identify a problem and you want to solve that, showcasing that will create more weight to your report, like in project. Okay. So I will start with this project. This is a fun project. Okay. So I got some free access uh, for the Microsoft Fabric when it launched. Okay. So I created this project. So basically, this idea was Ruby actually given me this idea because she was having Fabric free subscription, and I was using that. and she told me that you need to do a project because you got a free subscription now. So I was thinking about what to present. So I was uh, taking count of my step every day that time. So she gave me the idea that you should present that data in your report as a Power BI, and backend you can do the Fabric. In the backend you can use Fabric for that. So this is how I have generated. Okay, it is not exactly solving a business problem, but it is showcasing your skills that you can use Fabric and you can use Power BI and how you can do this. Now you can see here it is not very long. Okay, it is very small. So whatever I have learned, I have my agenda. I kept here very crisp way. Like I started working to get fit, and consistency was a problem. Then a friend, which is Ruby, suggested me to use a Power BI dashboard with working data from Samsung Health, and it made tracking my progress and helped me to stay on track. So I can see that these are the days, okay, in December and January where I worked more. Okay, yeah, you can see 10,000 steps or something. Okay, so this is a fun project you can see. Okay, and second is keep us affordability in Europe and Asia. Okay, so I did not start a project to make it like fully like this. Whatever you are watching, okay, it is not the first step. Okay, I first presented that project, and then I dig a deeper into it, and then I change the design little bit, then I update it. Okay, I will show an example for that. But this was a Maven Analytics challenge, so I participated. Okay, and I built this report, and after this challenge, when I was digging this data, I found one problem here. Here you can see uh, here is the agenda I have written, and here, however, the affordable e-passes prices across Europe and Asia caught my attention. This was my starting point to develop this project further. So, prompting me to delve deeper into analysis insights, not solely dependent on the data. They encompass various external and internal factors. So I did not have any idea that time that why the Europe and Asia ski passes are uh, affordable. Okay, so I used ChatGPT and I got some insight, and now I presented this insight when I dig deeper into it. Okay, here you can see Europe and Asia average price. It's below average price. Okay, so I presented in a this data visualization. Okay, and this is in PPT. Okay, I took this data on Excel or Power BI, and then I take the screenshot and I presented that in PPT here. Now you can see the ski resort in country Asia, Japan is the highest. The Asian ski passes prices are generally lower than the average, but based on the available data, it appears that most ski resorts are located in Japan. Why? So this why actually give me further give me the purpose of delve deeper into further analysis, right? So this is how I have found those insights. Like here, you can see Switzerland ski passes are in Europe. It is the ski passes are more expensive in Switzerland. Why? So this is also an uh, exploratory data analysis, you can say. Okay, so this is you can consider this is not just a Power BI report, right? It is beyond that, you can say. So recently I have completed this project here in Azure data lakehouse architecture and RFM analysis. Okay, and this is the most interesting part I will show you. This was a report which I developed first. When I learned SQL, I changed the backend part into SQL, and I have updated this project. So that this simple project, I used the simple that most popular data set like this one that that is the uh, which is called global. sales data or something. Okay, superstore data. Here you can see. So this is the most common. So what I was looking that you can see, I perform an RFM analysis. Okay. So here you can see the high churn risk. Okay. Now you imagine you are a stakeholder and you give your data to a data analytics team and you have a purpose, right? But when you work in your company, you can get those purpose and requirements. But when you're building a project from scratch, you have to be the stakeholder. You have to find a problem out of it and you have to solve that in your way. Okay. So this is, I found that high churn risk. So I perform RFM analysis and how I have performed, I will show you. Okay. So I found this is a high churn risk and this is fully interactive. Okay. And they are belong from Africa and this region. Okay. Now I raise a question that why it is high churn risk. So I first developed this project, then I use my project to think about to generate a problem. Okay. Because I am the stakeholder, I have to showcase to the recruiters that I am solving a problem using this data. But before that, I just developed that report and stakeholder don't know. I did not present it that way. So stakeholder don't know what I have developed, right? So I used my report to generate a problem, then I gone for a solution. Now here you can see key recommendation. So total discount, the loyal customers are getting more higher than the high churn risk customers. So this can be a possible reason, okay, that the people who are about to churn, they are not getting enough discount. So I give the recommendation. So this is how I delve deeper. And recently I have updated this project after learning a few things in Azure Databricks and ADF. Okay, so I created a medallion architecture here. You can see. Okay, I created a blob storage and I stored that data. And from that, I used Azure Data Factory and I dumped that data in the bronze layer. Then I opened Databricks and then I connected that, used PySpark and Spark SQL to clean this data and saved it as a flat file in the silver layer. So why I have saved this as a flat file? Because silver layer, mostly data scientist team in an organization use this silver layer. Okay, to do the machine learning and all. They don't need those data models and all fact tables and dimension table. That is only we use like in the BI develop as a BI developer. Then again, I have connected the same with the same approach like this in using Spark, and then I splitted the data into different dimension table and fact tables, and I stored that in a gold layer. Then I connected the Power BI, and from that I presented the visualization. So here now you have to think about this length. Okay, this length I have. This length is little bit than other projects. Okay, this you can take it as a blog, but this blog length is little bit because I want to show off my skill, right? This is also important that I'm solving a problem which is okay here. The prescriptive analysis, what I am prescribing after researching the data, but showcasing your skill is also important here. But you don't need to include everything there, right? Because it will be long, and whenever let's say I am the recruiter, I will not have time to read all of these things. Okay, in the bronze layer, what I've done, as I mentioned. So it was successful. Now here you can see the row read it was 51,290 and it's written and saved 51,290. Okay. Now I connected to the with Databricks and I figure out this problem that product ID. Here you can see to clean and confirm dataset and key information resolve product ID inconsistency. Okay, like product ID needs to be consistent. But here for one product ID, there are four products. This is wrong, right? So that's why I solved this problem. And how I solved this problem here, you can see I created a surrogate key called product key. And then I verified this. Okay. And then I performed the RFM analysis using SQL. So in Databricks, okay, when you're using PySpark or Spark SQL, you have to decide that which is the easiest method to solve this problem, because as I told you that I developed this project from Excel to Power BI. Then when I learned SQL, I updated this project from SQL to Power BI. So in that scene, in that particular moment, I was solving this problem using SQL. So I used SQL in Databricks. Okay, because this was easy for me.
Hello.
So yeah, please.
Sorry, Nilay. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah,
My connection
anytime.
was a little bit interrupted. Can you just let me know from the step where you used Excel and Power BI, and then later on you said you used SQL. So you just imported this Excel files into SQL?
Yeah, exactly. Because
Okay.
I updated this project, that's why those things are gone. Okay. Because I had many
So,
projects and I removed that. I don't have that right now because I have to check my external hard disk where I saved those data. Okay, that was before SQL. So when you
so
hello, can you hear me?
uh, yes, yes, please.
So 2 months back, let's say, if you were taking this project, you could see that there are SQL codes and all. Okay, so now I have updated so that those are gone. Okay, so that's why whenever you will learn advanced skill, you need to update your existing project which is applicable. Like I had some Excel projects and different projects which I removed from my portfolio. So we have only four projects you can see, but I have removed those because those are not applicable for me and those are not upgradable. But these projects are upgradable. Like later I learned SQL and I upgrade that project from SQL to normal Power BI to SQL plus Power BI. Now it is now you can see here one interesting thing. Okay, you can see this. This is I learned from Enrique Ruiz. Okay, so whenever you are watching this report, you can see I have used Azure services, I have used Databricks, and I have used Power BI. Here you can see in my another project, I have clearly mentioning that I have used Power BI, I have used ChatGPT and Excel. Similarly, you can see here Samsung Health, Google Sheet, Fabric, and Power BI I have used. Okay, this part. Enrique Ruiz also doing his project like this. Okay, and the most important part, as I mentioned before, that you don't need to write every single thing here. Obviously, you need to show off your skill because that will be selling. You are selling this, right? So you need to showcase your skill, but in a crisp way. Okay, this is what I have done. So for SQL, what I have done, I uh, I imported that using DDL and DML. I just imported that Excel data into a database. So I created the data source as a SQL database. So my customer having a SQL database, I am trying to create. I created few dimension tables and fact tables, which the same way I have created using Databricks. Okay. So there I created views and I connected those views to Power BI. Then I solved that problem. So now what I have done, I created the same, but in a Mendelian architecture method. Okay. So this is how I upgraded this project. And also I am showing the Power BI reporting part and I have the Power BI skill. I have the Azure skill like ADF. I have the Databricks skills like big data analytics. So this is how I am showcasing. Right. I know DAX. So a little bit glimpse I am showing. Okay. And also the prescriptive analysis here. That also I'm not just presenting my skills, also I'm providing a solution. Right. So this is important and this is impactable. And when you apply your existing skills into one project, it will become a full project. Like developing a dashboard, anyone can do. You can just go to Kaggle, you can export a data and you just connect it to Power BI and you just build what is the uh, 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 fifth highest selling city within the region, what is the most selling top 10 project. You can show those kind of things. But that was not insight. That is just to showcase what is the insight, what I call insight. So what is happening in background? You can see in the ski passes project. Okay, you just develop this dashboard, right? Power BI report. It is showing that the information. You go and you just select North America and you just close and you can see this inside, right? But these are not actually inside. What is inside? This is the why. Why the Europe and Asia key prices are affordable, right? And then this is the descriptive analysis. Okay, this is, you can see, exploratory analysis. So you're exploring, but you find something and you're describing it. It is a descriptive analysis. This is just stopped from in descriptive analysis. But here, when I'm providing a solution, right, this may be a possible cause of the high churn risk. So reduce. So here you can see that I'm recommending that management should think about increasing profit margin by reducing discounts from the top customers segment and giving more discounts to the high churn risk customer and at risk customer segment. Okay. So this can be a possible reason and this can be a solution. This is how I have described. And one more thing is important here. You can see the data visualization. Here you can see at-risk customers is yellow, loyal customers are in lavender or violet, you can say. Teal color is for the top customer and at-risk customer are orange color, right? You can see that high churn risk customers. So this affects more when it comes to data visualization. Yeah, Nagraj, please.
Nilay, may I ask, what is the time frame which took for you to complete this? I know this was having different phases, like from Excel to
Exactly.
Power BI, then SQL to Power BI, then learning the Databricks, and then ADF Databricks, and then to the Power BI. So, what was the time frame for the latest upgrade?
I can say it took 2 years for me, actually.
I'm
When
sorry,
I first 2 years for me, it took. It took.
for the present project.
Because no, when I developed this project, I just presented. Okay. But before
Okay,
presenting, I just dig into this problem that what is the high churn risk, and I dig into this problem, and it take 1 week maybe, and after that I presented this.
Nilay,
Okay. If
I think he's just asking about how much time did it take for you to do the current project.
this current project actually took 3 days for me to upgrade because Power BI was ready. Okay. I just remove
okay,
SQL part and I just upgraded to with my new skills for this. Only 3 days it take.
okay,
Okay. But building the skills over time actually take 2 years from that. Because when I developed this project, I did not know SQL. Okay. Later I learned SQL and I upgraded this project to SQL. Then later I learned this ADF and Databricks. Then I upgraded to this project. So this is how everyone should do that, updating your existing project instead of
Did it
starting from scratch.
did it take did it take 3 full days, or because you were doing it in your spare time? So that's why it took 3 days, right?
Yes, and in between there was Saturday and Sunday, so I got full time to work on this. So if you count total hours, then it will be like 20 hours at least.
okay. So, building the scripts and all.
Yeah, and uh, in 20 hours, only 2 hours to 3 hours it takes to think about what to write, how to present in this as a blog. Okay, how to present the same project in my GitHub. And GitHub is important. Why? Because if an and if a manager who is very tech savvy, okay, he want to see that what kind of coding you are doing, because you're not showing everything here, right? You are just showing a glimpse of the screenshot of that code. Okay, so what you are actually doing here, if I go to this project, okay, no, I'm going to the same way. Okay, if you, okay, I've done a mistake here. I should have, okay, I have to update that as well because it's taking me uh, to my own report. So I have to go to my repository. I have to see the link here. You can see the script, whatever I have I've created here. Kaggle, the data source is also there. It is important, okay, giving the data source and end-to-end project. And here you can see this silver layer coding. Here you can see why I did coding here in silver layer, for silver layer and for gold layer. Okay, these are the codings here. If you open this, it will take some time.
Nilay, meanwhile, can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure, sure.
Great. So one small doubt, I mean, it's a simple one. Like
Yeah,
previously you had, I mean, these transformations which you had, I mean, these irregularities which you had in the flat files. You have done this
exactly.
in the Power BI. You have transformations you have done in Power BI, and later instead of doing these transformations in Power BI, you made these transformations in SQL, and later on you made these transformations into the silver layer, I mean, bronze to silver layer in Databricks. That's it, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
And I completed this within 3 days, or you can say 20 hours, because my Power BI report was ready. Okay, I just have to change the data source, right? And when I upgraded to SQL, I already know the problem. Okay, and how I solved it, I had that code. So I, instead of using PySpark, I used SQL, and same approach I have used. And I have solved this problem. So currently it's not loading. I don't know why. Maybe because of my internet connections or something else. So, so here also I have given the link of the, I think, GitHub repository. Explore the complete Databricks notebooks by PNB format here, and I given the link instead of hyperlink, because hyperlinks is not working in this website. So that's why I've given this link to this project. Okay. So
And what about the dataset size? I mean, a
if
brief, I mean,
you can,
record size.
here you can see, if I go to this, and if I go to this Kaggle dataset, it is here you can see 13 MB. You can say 14
Okay.
MB. I think. No, it's 5 MB as a zip file. And I have removed my past project because I'm not I'm not targeting those roles. So that's why I've removed those projects.
Fair enough. Yeah.
And this is a project which I got most likes in LinkedIn, because I developed this financial model with DCF calculation in Power BI, because it was a challenge. When I posted, this was kind of challenge actually. This was a challenge for me. So I posted one in on LinkedIn that Power BI is not the right tool for financial modeling, because Excel is important there, because you know, if anyone are from accountant and other people, they know, whoever are financial analysts, they know that Excel is their bread and butter, because you can go to the individual cells and you can do those modifications. But when it is Power BI, it's not like that flexible. Okay, so one guy actually challenged me that you don't have skills in Power BI, so that's why you are saying like this. So I took it as a challenge and I developed report. Like here you can see the valuation, and you can change the growth rate and discount rate, and you can analyze the data. And I have it is like a tool. Okay, it is not just a report that no one can use. If I give you this TBIX file, you can also use this. Okay, this is what I have done here. You can check the workflow. You have to you need a screener. You need to create an account in screener.in, and you need to, there is a feature called export to Excel. And if you export to Excel, then in Excel, I have a Power Query ready Excel for the Power BI. So I download the Excel and I connected that Excel to my Power Query, and I run that Power Query, refresh that Power Query, and it generates the data that I need for the Power BI report, and this is how I've created. Here in this project, for the first time, I have used many-to-many relationship, because when you go to when you will develop that actual typical BI projects, you should not use this. Okay, you should not use many-to-many relationship because you know what will happen. But for this project, it was absolutely necessary to do the many-to-many relationship, which will not harm any calculations here, but it is just to showcase this data like this. Okay, so for that, and you can see this table, valuation, KPIs tables, and company name, and these are the tables. These are the tables just to format this data like this. If you go to the profitability, you can see this data. You can't do this. You can achieve this easily in matrix as well. Okay, to format that, I have to create those tables, and I really accept that Power BI is not a tool for financial modeling, but I took it as a challenge, so I showcased that. This
Nilay,
is just
one
to
thing that
prove that I have Power BI skills. That's it.
uh, yeah, Nilay, one question that the beginners always ask. So,
Yeah,
just like in your case, you transformed from a data analyst, senior data analyst, to a data engineer, right? So,
yeah.
what qualities of Databricks or ADF did you appreciate? Because there are certain things that you cannot do with Power BI. It's just a visualization front end tool or SQL. So, what are the things you appreciate about projects in ADF or Databricks? What new learnings did you have?
Uh, New learning means Databricks is flexible. Number one thing, flexible because I have used a simple data, right? It is very less data. But what if you will get a big data, right? So you can apply the same skill, but like whatever joining you are doing, if you get the big data, you have to do broadcast joining. Okay, so this is the little bit different concept there when you will do the typical analysis. Okay, you can't join like that. So you you have the Ferrari, okay, and if you get that situation, you can run that Ferrari, you can utilize that Ferrari, right? So this is just to showcase skills, but like day-to-day problems, like when we need data, let's say in my company, okay, we need data from Primavera, or we need data from Teams, or we need data from SAP. So uh, downloading different connectors and doing that integration. Sometimes we publish this data. Okay, recently I'm in a project. Okay, we publish the data from Teams. Okay, but it is not. It is failing. But when we use this Databricks and this data engineering tools to connect that data and create a data flow and save it as a semantic model in the data lake house, it will be seamless. So you have both the skills. This is obviously different because it is because of speed, and also uh, you are not just using this data for only the BI purpose, right? There are data scientist teams. So you are creating a scope for them as well in the silver layer by saving those flat files for them so that they can analyze it also. So you're doing all the end-to-end things. I was sitting here. Okay, now I am sitting here as well. This is
Got
the
you.
advantage, and this is
So
the
yeah, so
flexibility.
so
Yep.
now, so in other words, now you are able to do end to end rather than just looking at one portion of it. You are doing the entire thing.
Yes. And
Your
also it will
skill is
save
much
time.
more valuable now. Yeah. Nilay, one more question people typically, beginners ask is, when I'm learning SQL or I'm learning Power BI, I'm not focused on the cost part so much. But while learning Databricks or ADF, you have to think whether I'm getting a huge bill because of this. So what was going on in your mind, and did you have the same concern? That's question number one. Did you have the same concern? And question two is, um, you, you know, for how much did this project cost you in terms of money? Because some people are concerned, oh my God, if I'm going to use Databricks, it'll cost me like lots of rupees or dollars or whatever that the country they are in.
Yep. So I had this concern, but thanks to Aradhya, he solved this concern in the first place. that what to use, what not to use. But to your question, that I use Data Factory and I check the data size. Okay, so I know it will not generate that much cost, like 1,000 or 2,000 rupees. So it will cost something like 10 to 15 rupees. I know that because of the base Aradhya developed. Okay, and I have done a lot of things in Aradhya's classes for building those for those assessments and all. Okay, so I've done that, and I was using pay as you go, so I had the rough idea about that after Aradhya's course, honestly. Then I was confident that if I use this, it will not generate that cost. And coming to your second question, if I go to this post where I can show you the cost, which is something around 18 rupees or something, it's generated. Okay. So this is a good reference for the new people. Here you can see Azure Data Factory version 2 I have used, and it's generated 13 rupees.
Got you.
Okay.
So basically, after having learned ADF and Databricks, the costing perspective was one unique thing that you learned from Aradha's classes as well.
Yes. Because I know that using a block storage, normal block storage is cost nothing. And if you use ADLS Gen 2, then it will increase the cost slightly because you are getting the flexibility to create hierarchical namespace, right?
Gotcha.
And the data lake
Yeah.
features.
So
And
you not only had the data analyst and uh, data engineer perspective, but you also thought from the architect perspective about costing as well. That's great.
yeah, and also it's applicable for Power BI as well. Okay, when you are working as a Power BI developer, you need to think about that many times this data can be used. Like there is a SharePoint data, there are a few data from coming from different sources. So we create data flows. So when we create data flow, it need Power BI premium licensing. Okay, but why you should buy premium licensing? Why should you go for premium license? Because you want to create data flow. But why you want to create data flow? Because that same data will be used by different Power BI reports. So if you use the same data in different Power BI reports without creating a data flow, it will duplicate the data and it will eventually increase the cost because it will eat the space in your Power BI workspace, right? So it is, instead of doing that, it is best to go for Power BI Premium so that you can create a data flow and so that you can use that same data in Power BI report as well. So here you have to think about cost as a Power BI developer as well, not just as a data engineer. And when I was working in K12, okay, I was using Amazon Redshift. Okay, and their data are huge. So what I have done, gathered the requirement, and I have figured out that we don't need the raw data. We can do it aggregated data. We can, based on that aggregated data, we can import that in Power BI, and the 30 million rows of data become 1 or 2 million. Okay. And I have done it by creating materialized view. And I just connected that view to Power BI. So Power BI cost is reduced here. So I was thinking about cost in that level as well. So this is a important factor whether you are working as a Power BI developer or a data engineer.
So Nilay, you also did additional effort on your own. You learned fabric analytics, and you also had additional skill of becoming a fabrics data analytics engineer, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
for the newcomers, if somebody wants to take on additional efforts and want to learn uh, how to clear that certification, can you say a couple sentences about that? How to clear the Fabric Analytics Engineer certification?
Sure. So the number one thing why you should crack Fabric, because most of the Power BI report developers, the Power BI developers are moving towards Fabric. Fabric is a SaaS platform. Okay. And this is what I've learned from Aradhya as well. That what is SaaS? software as a service platform, what is PaaS, platform as a service, what is infrastructure as a service. Okay, so whenever you are using a SaaS platform, it will be expensive, right? So like we are using Power BI, you can develop the next level report using Python. There are libraries like Matplotlib and Plotly, and there are few libraries you can achieve more than what Power BI can do using that open source. Okay, so that is not a SaaS platform. This is a SaaS platform, software as a service. So whenever you use SaaS platform, it will increase your cost. So number one thing, you should learn Fabric, because most of the Power BI developers and organization who are using Power BI, they are moving towards the Fabric. Okay, so for that you need to check the Microsoft documentation. And I got some insights from a guy who recently cracked a Fabric. So he told me to go from this Microsoft documentation page, and you just read those documentation and collect few points. Maybe I can show you. Maybe I have that. I can show you that when I was preparing for this exam.
Nilay, hold on. Tell me one thing. So, because you had learned ADF and Databricks already, Fabrics was very
Hmm.
easy for you, right?
Yes, obviously, because here you can see my notes. Okay, first thing here. When I was preparing for the documentation, here you can see section 1, and what I have think that it can come as a question. So I noted down, and I was creating this documentation. Okay, and I lost other documentation, I don't know. And it is easy because what nothing but Power Query, what you use in Power BI, right? So that is called Data Flow Gen 2, the Azure Data Factory, called in Power in Fabric. And you use Spark in Databricks, PySpark. In Fabric, the notebooks is developed in top of the Spark, so you can use your PySpark code and Spark SQL code using the notebooks in Fabric. So, and second thing, you can't learn Fabric, you can't practice Fabric. This is the hard truth, because Fabric is so expensive. I have checked that if I use the minimal licensing, it will cost 25,000 to 28,000 per month. So you will get only 1 month subscription if you subscribe that. Then after your free subscription, you can't use that because it's so expensive. So if your company is using and your company is allocating a separate workspace for you to practice or use Fabric, otherwise you can't practice in Fabric. So you need to learn Data Factory and all these things, and Azure services and Azure thing, which is same in the Fabric as well, in a more organized way. Like you don't need to create Unity catalog to connect your ADLS chain to Databricks for mounting purpose. You don't need that because it is a SaaS platform, so everything is under that. It's you can say it's a it is like Fabric. Sorry, Azure Synapse Analytics platform. Okay, but the same skill is applicable in Fabric as well.
So we can create a PySpark notebook and everything in Fabric, Nilay.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so then in that case, we don't need any subscription, separate subscription for Databricks.
No, but if, Database does not have any subscription. I think when you connect it, use Community Edition, you don't need any subscription. But when you integrate with Azure, then you need subscription. But I have seen that we have few projects which we are migrating from Databricks to the Fabric notebook. So those
Mhm.
we have still the Databricks code and Databricks pipeline there. So also in Fabric, you can connect that Databricks with Fabric as well.
Okay, like how we can integrate EDF and Databricks. That way you
Yes,
are saying we can
yeah, we
integrate
can do
Fabric
that.
with Databricks. Okay,
Yeah.
makes sense.
But in our organization, mostly we are shifting to Fabric Notebook.
Mm.
everything
Yeah,
from Databricks to Fabric Notebook.
yeah, it ultimately depends on the organization. If they're more
Organization.
comfortable with one thing, they'll do that. If they have heavily invested in Microsoft technologies before, they might be comfortable. But for really heavy workloads, Databricks is the leader. For lighter workloads, I'm making it very general. I'm making it a broad
Yeah.
brush statement. For lighter data loads, you can use Fabric, but for heavy industry grade workloads and for machine learning and all, and AI, uh, Databricks is preferred.
Agreed with you because in our recent meeting, actually, we had an argument. Like one data scientist in our team, he is raising concern about this migration because he is saying that data Fabric notebooks do not have capabilities like that. Okay, maybe. Oh, he was arguing, but I am just waiting and watching that what will happen. So I will
Yeah,
gain some experience out of it.
Microsoft is catching up fast, but still it has because it has borrowed a lot of things from Databricks. It's
Mm.
not there yet, but I'm sure it will someday catch up.
Yeah. So based on your statement, then upgrading in Fabric is important, like cracking the DP600, right?
Yes, I'm saying that yeah, it is nice, especially if for example in your case your company was using it, so it made sense. In certain companies, when you go, they would one consultant is billable on multiple kind of projects. So the simple logic is when somebody is a consultant, he has to be ready. Like if I'm a consultant and I'm going to an organization, the organization says, hey, we have from XYZ client in Europe, we have got, or from XYZ client in US, we have one project which is heavily dependent on Databricks. I'll use Databricks. If I also know Fabric, none, it is just on the skill I have. So whether you want, a dosa or a Mughlai food or intercontinental dish, I'm willing to prepare because I'm a great chef. That's what you're trying to project.
Yes, because also I have heard from many data engineers that during the interview they were asked that they know Fabric or not.
Yeah, and this is the simple reason is they don't need yes or no as an answer. It's just that if you have that additional skill, they might prefer you over a guy who has only one skill. That because the company can get, especially if you are in consulting, you are not working for Infosys or TCS or you are working for a consulting company which can take any kind of projects. They just hope that you'll probably be offered a little bit more money because you know an extra skill. That's a simple basic logic.
Okay. So I can say that I have developed this project. Let's forget about this My Fitness Tracker where I use Fabric. Okay. So I have this project and my skills are transferable and applicable in Fabric as well. But another guy who have this project, like this project as well and this project. So he used Fabric. So his weight is more than me, right? Because he have used actually the architecture or the platform he has used actually hands-on he has even if it is transferable for me, but he has used this fabric, so his weight will be more than me, right?
His, I wouldn't say his weight will be more than you or less than you. I would say that you know you have equally demonstrated that you have the ability and you are not willing to shy away from hard work. So you have abilities to your skills are transferable between platforms, and I mean, you see, you have just created a few projects, right? But I'm
Yeah.
sure you'll be creating multiple projects as the time goes on. So by the time
Yeah.
people appreciate it. So there's nothing less or more that nothing that you're losing out on. You actually, by virtue of saying that you know Databricks and ADF, you're already with the leader.
And yes, I will do more projects in data engineering for data engineering, and also I will integrate Power BI as well because once I will post host the new projects, I will remove the old one which is only based on Power BI.
And the
Because
best thing, another great thing about you is not only you're thinking from an analytics or engineering perspective, you are bringing elements of architect thinking in it. This architect thinking, as you're applying to projects, will mature with time, and this will lead you to success.
okay, understand.
So, Nilay, currently are you aligned any other project?
No, I'm just practicing PySpark.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
See, one great thing about Nilay. So whenever somebody is presenting anything, whether it's a portfolio, even Power BI or SQL or anything, any technology, you're presenting a portfolio or a project. One thing you will appreciate about Nilay is the ability to do hard work. Nilay did not come from an engineering background. Still, he puts a lot of engineers to shame, right? And I'm saying this in a stronger way just because I want to motivate people to learn new things. So his ability to stay patient, focused, put in the efforts, even if it takes extra hours. uh, he has a regular office, right? So in the evenings or during the weekends, he has the ability to be consistent and doing consistent practice. And this was Nilesh trait even when he was learning Power BI. He has mastered SQL, he has mastered Power BI. The only reason he was able to do that is because of consistent practice, nothing else. Pure discipline.
Thanks, for your kind word.
So the more number of projects you do, you become very things start becoming more and more clear to you. And that's when you have done a project, then you are applying for certification. You understand you're not just taking a PDF and cramming it up, and you actually understand what's going on, and you also realize while giving a certification exam what are the areas in which I have certain gaps, and then you read up on those areas. So Nilay, whenever he found during his certification that he needs to enhance his knowledge in a particular area, he would go back to the sources to learn, come back and practice. In fact, for the certification exam, he prepared see, it is very easy to cram questions, right, and try to imagine that some questions might come from that. But Nilay took the harder route. Nilay put all the questions in a form, in a quiz form, and then he went and understood every single question, the logic behind it, why one answer was better than the other answer. So he invested a lot of time in it. So, guys, investing time and practicing is the only thing that separates a ordinary person from an extraordinary person. So, Nilay, by virtue of persistence, is has shown extraordinary efforts.
Regarding practicing, I want to highlight one important thing and a very funny thing. When you do push-ups, okay, in the first day you will do 10 push-ups, it will be hard. When you do 20 push-ups the next day or after one week, it will a little easy for you. Okay, then one time you will find that you can do 50 push-ups after a few months. Okay, so this is how practice works. But when you are practicing like SQL and Power BI and this kind of things, okay, there is the most important and easy way that I call it hack. When you practice something, you just document it. You don't need to practice again. You just open the documentation, and if you find any doubt, you just practice. And if you open the documentation and everything is clear in your mind, you don't need to practice. Like you don't need to do 20 push-ups or 50 push-ups. So this is an
And
interesting thing, and it will help before your interview as well. You will just
Nilay,
open the documentation and you are ready like 30 minutes.
absolutely,
This is a
Nilay.
hack.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on this, 100% to you on this, because all the people who have been successful, name any data engineer or analyst or other roles that have been successful, they made their own notes. If you make your own notes, if you start making your own notes, other than the whatever is given to you in classes or other forums, that is going to help you because you've written by hand. It's a part of your practice. So Nilay has done this very, very beautifully. So has Sanjay. So have other people who've been successful.
And I will give you an example as well. Here you can see the question. This was my go-to thing for before any Power BI interviews. Okay, I collected that information, and here one uh, one guy actually asked me a really good question that, Nila, there are thousands of DAX functions. What I should learn? Then I found this one. Okay. I categorized those math and stats, logical takes, filter, table functions. So these are advanced, like here you can see 52 functions and basic 36 functions. And here is the documentation. I have many documentation like this. So the date add function is similar to same period last year, but in date add we can extract same period last year, quarter, month, and day actually, and how it works. I have documented it. So do you think I need to practice it again? Now it is clear. The syntax is there, the result is there. And also what I've done here, you can see the most uh, best videos like has on values. We don't use these functions. Like I am a Power BI developer, I don't use these functions regularly. Okay. So if I stuck anywhere, I can take this sheet and I can, if I have some doubt, I can click the link to the best video. So you need this kind of things. These are the tools.
Correct. So apart from creating these kind of notes for yourself, whatever you find easier, if there is one takeaway from this seminar today, it is that if you put in consistent efforts, you will get success. Whether it is certification, whether it's a job interview or a promotions, you will get success if you are consistent and you have curiosity. And there'll be days. So I'm not saying everything will be bright, rosy, and wonderful, because with any person, sometimes you are not feeling well, sometimes you have a headache, sometimes you're feeling sick, sometimes you have a important housework to be done. So there are many distractions and responsibilities that take away your time. But if you, let's say, one day you are able to study for 1 hour, next day you are able to study only half an hour. The idea behind delay success is you put in some effort every day consistently, and it will eventually get you to success.
So but here I'm summarizing. Okay. The today's session. Okay. And what are the most important point for a project portfolio? Okay. And this is I really like to do because after every conversation, people will be confused that what to do, what not to do. So I'm summarizing. To build a simple project from Power BI project. Okay. From guided project, anything, and work on the UI. Take a screenshot of this. Okay. Also, and use that project. Use that report. 4. Generate a problem. 5. Solve that problem. Okay. So this is for your Power BI report. Now, 6th step. Learn new skill. It's not mandatory that you should learn data engineering right now. Like it can be SQL, it can be Python, it can be Alteryx, it can be Power Platform. So learn new skill and 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 use that and use that same skill in your project to make it a full project. Okay, so it is like that. Do the same thing over time. When you learn more skill and you add that, Seven, most important thing, your data source link is important. Your GitHub link for your code are important. Okay. Eight, descript, description should be crisp in your blog. You don't need to include anything here. Okay, this is most important. Nine, three to four projects only. Don't confuse the indices. These are the 9 points. Okay. So these are the main thing. And 10, here you can also, I can add one thing, learn data visualization concept.
Thank you, Nilay. This will be really helpful for people who are starting out and do not know where to start. And but once they've started, they can reach out to you. They can reach out to any of the leads, because all our leads have almost taken they've done ADF and Databricks, and some of them have done Fabrics as well, like you. So I think this will be very, very useful for all those people who are starting out. I want to say one thing though, which I've already mentioned in all the groups. Wishing alone will not help. Acting upon your uh, resolution is going to help. If you say, hey, I'm going to uh, get my body in shape, unless you do something daily, it's not going to work out. Similarly, if you say, yeah, someday I'm going to do Databricks, someday I'm going to learn XYZ technology, it's not going to it's not going to help. If you say, hey, I'm earning 10 lakhs now, I should get 20 lakhs per annum, it's not going to happen on its own. You will have to actually work for it, and it doesn't take much time. So, guys, for your own benefit, for your own sake, if you have to change your life, you must act. That's going to be the message from Nilay seminar today.
Also, I want to add few things, Arun. When I was
Sure.
learning Power BI, I was totally into Power BI. I was not focusing on Python and SQL and anything. And then when I was started learning SQL, I was totally focused on SQL. I spent a huge time with those technologies. That's why it became my core skill. Right now, I'm focusing on PySpark. So there are many advanced concepts in ADF which I don't know. I will focus, but later after I complete PySpark. And the most important thing I learned from Aradhya, there was a student, another student, who was doing hardware networking. Okay, and when the data science market was booming, he wanted to become a data scientist. Okay, so he reached out to Aradhya and he asked Aradhya that I want to become a data scientist. Then Aradhya asked why. So he was saying that Aradhya was he was saying that because it is booming and I can get more salary. Aradhya suggested him that what you are doing in on-premise, you can do it on cloud. So you learn this technology, and he is now getting 35 LPA of what he was doing in on-premise, what he was doing in cloud right now. This is the difference. So everything is not for everyone. So having a mentor and talking to the mentor is very important. There are many skills there are many roles as well which I learned from Aradhya that I did not even know which exist. So there are few people who have this kind of skills. They can talk to a mentor like Adya. I will suggest
Excellent.
because
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. And Nilay, one last question I have for you before we wrap up. Uh, so, a lot of people say, hey, they don't have LinkedIn Premium, or they don't want to write articles on LinkedIn. They don't interact with anybody on LinkedIn in a proper way. Can you share, once you build your portfolio in public, like you have done, is it a good idea to showcase your portfolio, uh, and be active on LinkedIn?
Yes, because online credibility is most important these days. Because the competition is huge, and you have to be highlight yourself, and you have to deliver quality content as well. Like, I can say an example, like what are the problem you're facing, you just solve it in a hard way, share that, so it will help others. So always Sanjay said that you can't gain credibility unless you are providing help to someone, right? And also, you can be most talented person in your house, but who knows, you have to showcase to the world, right? So if you close your doors and you're doing like you're developing a chip that people don't know, that who will know you actually.
So if I want to
And
become
it
if I want to become a data engineer, uh, there is path A and there is path B. If I want to be popular, I can connect with the Shraddha Kapoor on LinkedIn. I can connect with any of the heroines, Deepika Padukone, Rashmika Mandana on LinkedIn, or I can connect with data engineers on LinkedIn, because I have to become a part of that group, right? So
Yeah.
should I be connecting more with data engineers, or should I be connecting with the politicians and cricketers and movie actors and things like that?
Everyone knows that. Like data
No, a lot
engineers,
of people, because a
obviously.
lot of people tell me, "Hey, have you seen this from this person?" And I always ask them. I've been grooming people through career services group, and they're saying, "I connected with this fellow. He's he's into fashion design." And I'm like, if you want to become a data engineer, should you
Yeah.
not be adding 5 to 10 data engineers to your profile, to learn from them, to network with them, to understand what's going on in other companies? Not, I mean, Shraddha Kapoor is a fine actress, so is Deepika Padukone, so is Rashmika. But those people are not going to be helpful if you want to build your profile in a IT field, right?
Yes, exactly. Because you don't want to become an actor or actress. You want to become a data engineer, right? So following them on Instagram is okay, but not in LinkedIn, at least.
I can't tell you. I've had so many people. They've 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 done data analysis, and if you look at their profile, the first thing you find is they are connected with 20 people who have nothing to do with data analysis or engineering or science. It just amazes me.
Yeah,
Anyhow,
and I unfollow them. Like whenever I see some feed that is not relevant to data engineering or data analysis, and people are liking those, I just simply unfollow them.
yeah, some
Because
people
I
have
don't.
this generic memes and stuff like that. It doesn't serve your purpose. So it is best to avoid unnecessary connections. Have value in connections and grow organically. Don't worry about how many followers you have, as long as you have, good people that you're networking with real intentions behind it.
Yes, because at least I can learn something from that community, right? If I develop those kind of people around me. Because this is a very interesting point you have touched actually. From my past experience, I want to be very honest about it. When I was working as a labor in that factory, okay, I was getting 7,000 a month, and I was working 10 hours a day and Monday to Saturday, okay. And my target was, if I get a 12,000 per month job, it will be best for me. It will be near from my home. I can eat this. I can save this money. These are my thought process. Okay, because in my surroundings are like those kind of people who are getting 18K, few people, and they are very happy with that. Okay, so I was targeting that way because I don't have any purpose, right? I don't have any targets for that. I just wanted to get out of this. So when I search for job, then I get to know that for Excel skill, people are giving 15K. So I was like, I have the Excel skill, right? I have done those data modeling and all these things, and then I start get to know about the MIS executive roles. Then I skill, and then I look for a job, and I got a job, like
Excellent.
18K, right?
Nilay, to to wrap up this seminar, I
Yeah.
would like you to tell everybody about one of the things you had told me some time back, and it was very, very profound. It was very important and profound. You had told me the difference between noise and signal. Can you tell me, what did you mean by that, so that everybody knows, you know, watch the signals, don't watch the noise. It came out of some
Yes,
Elon Musk video or something.
yes, yes. That is a Mr. Wonderful video. He used to work in Apple with Steve Jobs, so that time he learned that from Steve Jobs. For in a layman terms, I want to say that today I am targeting that completing at least five scenario-based question using PySpark. Okay, how I will complete, I don't know, but I will not eat, I will not sleep as well if I don't complete that. So this is the signal I have to fulfill, and that is the task for me. I will not eat, I will not sleep. If I get ill, I will admit it to the hospital. I don't care. Like I don't
Well,
want to
I,
use
I
the F
wouldn't,
word,
I wouldn't,
but
I
that is
wouldn't go to
signal.
that extent. I wouldn't go to that extent. Health is important, but what
Yeah.
Nilay is basically trying to say, that he will, signals means you remain focused on the work that you've assigned to yourself, and everything else, all the distractions are just noise. So just focus on the signal, and I will ask Nilay to share that signals noise, not noise video. Somewhere he'll share it with you guys. It's a pretty important message, and most of the successful people are like that. Steve Jobs was like that. Elon Musk is like that, and there are many successful people who try to minimize their noise and focus on the signals.
But
Um,
being hard to yourself is also important. In that video, it told that if you set a target, you have to achieve that. But there is a trap as well, because if you think that you need to finish that, you can't. I just told in a hard way, because people who complain about they don't have time. I'm telling them, okay, I wake up at 8. Okay, I just work out, and after working out, I just eat two boiled eggs and bananas, and I go to office. Then after office when I come, I don't think anything about what I will do. I just call my mother, my family members. I just go to my kitchen. I make some food, whatever I like to eat. Okay, in that moment, I ordered and I make my food. Then I take a shower. After that, having dinner, then I think about it. When I sit, I fix the target that I have to complete. So if
gotcha.
you fix your to-do list, you will be it will like, oh my God, I have to go to home, then I have to cook, then I have to take a shower, then I have to sit for when I will do, when I have time, then I have to talk to my family as well. You can't do that if you decide. Okay, so don't have a plan like that. Okay, when you sit, you decide a target that I will learn this, and then you do it. Like you have to do it and
So
set a small target.
I hope everybody learned something from the seminar. Um, at least one thing, whatever you have taken away, if if those of you who are listening to the recording later on, whatever you liked about the seminar, let Nilay know or let us know in the groups. Nilay, thank you. This was very insightful. This was, I mean, this was your raw emotions presented in a very nice way, so that if they learn just one thing to put in efforts, they'll be rewarded. Thank you so much, Nilay, for doing this today.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a great
Hi,
day.
Nilay.
Okay. Sure, sure.
Just
Yes.
wanted to know what resource are you using to learn the PySpark? Would you please suggest some resource?
ChatGPT and
Hmm.
Sanjay's
Case
case
studies.
studies.
Hmm.
Yes, those are the most
Yeah,
important things.
guys, the case study will be the best way. So
Yes.
if you just follow along with Sanjay, Of course, there are a couple books that I have shared, and there are also a couple useful websites. But I would say that everybody that's learning PySpark, just follow the case studies where he has covered the basic level information in his first class. From next week onwards, he will do the case studies. So if you follow that, you should be comfortable in PySpark. In addition, we have Sanjay and I collected a lot of questions, so they'll all be available in a booklet form. It'll be added to his website so that you can download it from there, and then you'll be knowing the kind of questions that are asked in PySpark as well, apart from the practice, right? So just do that. Just follow what we are teaching in the PySpark specialized case studies.
And
All
I was
right, thank you.
struggling, and Mohammed, I was struggling with PySpark. Okay, so I called Sanjay, and Sanjay told me that just complete the coding first time, then complete the coding with your try to complete that with your own. So I never use pandas and NumPy, but if you use pandas and NumPy, it will be easy, like the data frame concept and all. But I never used, but I learned. But when I practice first time, when I'm practicing second time, that time I feel yes, I started knowing those concepts. Okay, so this is how you can learn. If you know nothing about PySpark, if you just complete those case study once with the help of ChatGPT or something, you will eventually next time you can do that actually. Like it will be a
Uh,
habit. It's a
okay.
strategy, very good strategy. Like within
Okay.
1 week, you start feel confident in coding in PySpark. And just take a SQL question as well. There is another strategy. Just take SQL question from Ankit Bansal. Okay, solve it in using SQL and try to solve it using PySpark as well. But using ChatGPT first, then second you will try to do it by your own. You will see that your knowledge is gaining. You day by day you are getting confident. Okay, this is how you can learn.
All right, all right. So actually, what I'm doing, I have started learning Python since I'm not aware much about the Python. So that's why I first of all I'm establishing my foundation working with Python. Then I'm thinking I should start practicing with PySpark.
This is a trap actually.
Okay.
So you just do the case studies using ChatGPT or using anything. You just do. Okay. And side by side, simultaneously, you can watch Python videos. And one more important thing that I want to say that your output should be 3x what your what is compared to your inputs. Okay. And like you are watching a videos, right? So it will not generate any value actually. A lot of people think that I have watched 2 hours videos and 3 hours videos and I learned something. You not learned zero until you are practicing. Okay.
So
So
guys,
you can
don't think
learn.
that
Yeah,
yeah, don't think that we have to know you have to master Python to learn PySpark.
Actually, that is the
exactly.
confusion that I should first of all upskill in Python, then I should learn the library PySpark.
No, no, it depends on the role. So if you're wanting to be a data scientist, then I would of course learn Python A to Z. But then if I'm a data engineer, I need to know sufficient enough PySpark. I don't need to be master of Python. If I am, it's good. But if I'm not, it does not matter.
In another
So you
way, you
can
can say that whatever you have done in Power Query, the as a Power BI developer, you can do the same concept, try to solve the same concept in PySpark as well, right? You have to do those kind of things.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and Nilay and I and Sanjay, we are all available. Just set up time with us, and we'll guide you through the way. You can talk to. We have many good people in the COE, so keep participating in seminars. That's how we learn from each other. And thank you guys for attending. Thank you, Nilay,
Thank you.
for being here today.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Nile, for wonderful session.